Alright, Calvin, you wanted to just get right into this.
Yeah, yeah, let's just jump
Alright, what the fuck is Pokemon Sleep?
in.
And how is this
Alright.
supposed to help me?
Pokemon Sleep is the latest Pokemon game.
Yeah, and to
And
preface, I
it's,
have zero clue. I've never seen
yeah,
this. I don't know where the fuck this came from.
a lot of
What?
people aren't familiar with it, but yeah, it's the latest Pokemon game, and it's a sleep tracking game where you collect Pokemon by sleeping more.
What is Nintendo trying to do with this information?
It's a little scary. It's a little scary how invasive it is. So first off, how does it track sleep data? It doesn't have like a wristband. Well, I believe you can buy a wristband for like $60 or something. I'm not gonna do that. But how it tracks your sleep data is you have your phone. It needs to stay on through the night.
Yeah.
You put it on your bed, and it like I guess tracks the movement you do to tell if you're like snoozing or if you're in deep sleep or something like that. Um, and here's the kicker: it listens to you sleeping. It tracks your sound to help guide it in.
Yeah, I've seen sleep
No,
tracker apps. I've used
yeah.
one before, but I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
as fucking sketched out as well too, because I'm just like,
Yes.
alright, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this?
Exactly. It tells you, hey, we're gonna delete your data after 24 hours, but it is definitely uncomfortable to use this app. But you know what? I figured I'd try because I've never used a sleep tracking app myself, and I'll
Okay.
basically show you guys. It might be hard to see this, but you can. Oh no, you can't
I
see it.
put it to your face if you can, I guess. Or yeah,
Wow,
that's
that's
how
so
I tend
smart.
to do it. Put it to your face.
Okay. Well, anyways, my
There you
first
go.
night, I only slept 5 hours and 20 minutes. That's how much I'm on this Sigma grind site. I don't even need sleep.
You're
That's
hilarious.
terrible. Please
you're
don't do it.
you're hilarious.
My sleep sucks.
Oh
And that's
no.
but it tells you that uh yeah, my REM sleep is only 30 minutes. I
Your
don't know about
your REM sleep, yeah.
yeah, my
You're
REM
only
sleep.
getting 30 minutes of REM out of 5 hours?
Yeah, so
The
that's
fuck
not
is
good.
wrong with you, dude? What the hell?
Yeah,
You're
man.
just
I
sitting
know.
there on the fucking edge of just like having a panic attack your entire way through your night. How the hell are you even
You know what?
surviving right now?
I wish I could tell. Yeah,
Did
I
you
wish I could.
dream?
Man, I do remember dreams sometimes, but not every night.
Okay.
You'll have to tell me your sleep tracking experiences after. So yeah, says dozing time 30 minutes and then snoozing time 4 hours and then just 30 minutes REM sleep.
Damn, you fucking Snorlax for 4 hours. That's
Exactly.
mental.
So what happens is you get a sleep rating. I only got a sleep rating of like 60,
Yeah.
which seems high for only 5 hours. That
Out
means
out of
you're
what? Out of 100?
100, 100 of 100. And then you just basically catch Pokemon, and then get food from them and feed Snorlax,
But
and this is
where do you get the Pokemon? Do you get that while you sleep?
yes.
How is that supposed to train you to like that's just to train you to sleep longer? What the fuck?
Well, that should be good. You want to sleep longer.
Could you imagine these fucking min-maxers out here just like put another phone up or some headphones with just snoring, like deep snoring, and it's just grinding for 24
Oh,
hours?
exactly. It is like, man, I imagined a time where you play idle games by day, and then you play Pokemon Sleep by night, and you're just
That's
constantly
what
getting rewards.
that's what Clicker Heroes and stuff like that and that's
Yeah.
what all of those were, the exact same things, just like Idle Heroes, Clicker Heroes. If you're not playing the game, it's still playing for you and you're still making progress, so still keep coming back. It's like the
Exactly.
lightest engagement bullshit that you've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
Uh
So I
okay.
yeah, tell me so first off tell me your sleep tracker experience before I go more into it.
Okay, well, I believe I had two. One was like a third-party app that I tried like a good number of years ago. Same kind of similar thing. Nothing to do with catching Pokemon or anything like that. There was no gamification. It was just a straight up like, here's a graph, put it beside your bed, leave it on, plugged in, so that we can hear you. Like kind of going to sleep or any
Ah,
sort of things. I had some weird stuff where I think the air conditioning unit definitely had a problem with that as well too. Like so,
yeah.
it I had to like keep the air conditioning off to actually use it, which cut the life cycle of the whole thing completely. But the long and
Yeah.
short is it does exactly that. Like I want to see the statistics that you can get out of your thing, because they would tell me REM, they would give me like a little night graph of like when did I actually fall into that. The one that I used, I remember, would create sound snippets of you during the night that you could listen
Yeah.
back to. So if you had like large like snoring sessions or something like that, they would actually grab those for you and then send them back so that you could kind of, third party kind of see how you were for the night.
Yeah.
So like if
Yeah.
there's any like big disturbances or anything like that they would happen.
One second. So this set on your nightstand or is it on your bed?
Just, you know what I mean, right beside. Yeah, so like in this case,
Okay.
I'm a fucking idiot, so I haven't had a nightstand like or anything beside my
Sure.
bed for so long until the girlfriend this week went out. She didn't tell me at all. She went out and bought 2 lamps and 2 nightstands.
Is this a European thing? They just don't have nightstands over there?
No, this is a fucking poverty mentality kind of guy. I've slept on enough air mattresses for my entire existence that owning anything is just like a weird thing to me. So like,
Understood.
just having things is just. I haven't had a table in my living room for forever. Oh my god, 10
Where do
years.
you eat at your computer desk?
No, just on my lap. Yeah, just on my lap. I don't know. Like I've never done anything different. I guess you know what I mean. I don't
That's
see it
funny.
different. I just have a plate and I'm just like, just go
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to fucking town. You know what I mean? It's definitely been weird. Total tangent on dates and stuff like that. Like years back, I'd have to get my ottoman out. I'd feel like subconscious about it, or self-conscious. So I'd take the ottoman out and I'd put it down in front, and then I'd put like a big piece of wood across the top of it,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I have like a tablecloth. But like I'm only doing that for other people. I'm literally,
Sure.
I'm never in a day am I doing that for myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I'll eat out of the fucking pot, dude. I don't care. I'm not even gonna get a plate. The hell with this
Exactly.
shit. This is some
Say-
dumb
it's-
shit. Who
That-
needs
that
things?
Saves the We're trying to make sure we don't go into global warming. So let's save some water here.
All right. So overall, tell me, what is the fucking goal of this thing? Like, what is the
It
goal?
is to teach you habits. Now, for example, you know what's funny? So
Okay.
normally a mobile game is like, here's your 7-day thing. Log in every 7 days to get these extra rewards.
Sure,
Because
yeah.
they want to get you hooked. Now, Pokemon Sleep has the same thing. It says it asks you to set a bedtime. So I set it to 10 p.m., which I've never done before. And I still don't. And it's like, hey, sleep at 10 p.m. every night, and we're going to give you double the rewards. So that's good, right? That's a good habit to have, which is actually to sleep consistently.
Okay.
So that's one thing it wants you to do for sure. But it wants you to build a habit of healthy sleep schedules. But one thing that I find really weird is that when you wake up, the first thing you do is like you analyze your Pokemon. Like is like here's your charts, and you like sit there for like 5 to 10 minutes looking at all your Pokemon charts. I think that's really bad. I think when you wake up, you should do something productive. Not like look at your Pokemon and feed them and do all this other stuff. So,
Absolutely.
That is
As much as I hate
crazy.
Matthew McConaughey, like he does, his whole thing goes and says, it's like, first 20 minutes of your day, don't look at your phone.
yeah,
Like, don't do anything. Sit down, breathe. Like, just like wake up to the day. Like, just
Yeah.
catch yourself a little bit. And I do believe that absolutely, because
yeah.
just getting in and doing nothing, probably not great.
Do you have a consistent morning routine, or you just do whatever?
It's fairly consistent when you're just talking about straight up, fucking make coffee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the morning routine honestly is more based around the dogs than anything else. That's the big thing. So like, we have 2 pupperinos. They have to get fed. They have to go out to the bathroom. I swear to God, if Fitzwilliam, my Alex's dog, does not instantly go to the bathroom, he's pissing in the apartment. Every single fucking time, he's just
Like an
pissing in
alarm
the
clock, I
dude,
see.
just pissing in the apartment every single fucking time. So like that's really just it. Like for the most part, it's like get up, make the coffees, get the dogs going, and then by that point, I'm like, I have to get into work. Like I have to get going.
Yeah.
So and that's a good 40 minutes or so of stuff. So tell me what kind of information they have access to here in terms of things. Sorry, is there achievements? What is keeping you on this
Yeah.
retention grind? Are you getting other Pokemon than your Snorlax? And like, what's
That's
happening?
right.
What's happening to that Snorlax like day to day?
Yep.
Is
It's
it-
I didn't okay, I haven't done as much breakdown because I I'll first say that when I woke up the first time, my battery went down to 30%.
Oh shit.
Which
Okay.
now my battery does suck. I'll say that. It's really it's a iPhone X.
No, but
Um
these are like hyper intensive. I bet if you look at the amount of data that it's sending over the
yeah,
air, that like
yeah.
this is like a lot. And I
The
do want to
game
preface as well too, not to cut you off. You know, what I
yeah,
mean, the regular health app has sleep stuff as well too. So it's like these
yeah.
days you don't even need a third party app to do these things. So I
That's
do
right.
want to call out that like it's in the default iOS, I guess nowadays. But
Yeah.
I am curious to see like because I don't know. My buddy Brian always goes on about like, oh, dude, I'm so into biohacking. I you know what I mean. I'm taking vitamins. I'm doing the cold plunges and blah blah blah.
Okay.
And
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like everything like this in terms of how well we optimize and operate as like little worker bee individuals is very up there right now. People really want to like figure it out, you know, or like
Yes.
figure out anything that works for them.
There's more and more apps that do this, and it's like they're both beneficial and not beneficial because they often have your data and can do whatever they want with it. I know, not all of them do. I know some of
Yeah,
them
but
are
do we
actually.
care these days? Do we
Yeah,
actually
exactly,
care? Because like
exactly.
everybody's got my data. I'm on like
Yeah,
four different fucking sales of spreadsheets of like hacked information that
yes,
just just get texted and called and emailed way too often. It
yeah.
sucks.
And my car insurance gave us these dongles so they can track how safe we are
Nah,
when we drive.
never doing that. Never doing it. Good luck to
Exactly.
you.
And they're like, "Hey, we'll
Nope.
give you $10 off your bill if you use these." I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
we can track whatever.
Nope.
Yep.
Because that can go the
So,
opposite too. That
oh
can
yeah,
that can
exactly,
go the
exactly.
opposite too. If they deem that you're like a bad driver, they will use that against you for forever. And what they
Right.
deem as like a bad driver is some bullshit, dude. Fuck that.
Yeah, I totally believe that. What was your question? It was a good question. I forget.
Just like what? Just give me the
Oh,
case of what are all of the stuff just rundown that they're tracking. Like what's the important stats, and like how does this honestly affect your
yeah.
Snorlax or whatever day to day? You said that you could get
Yep.
other Pokemon. That are they just
Yes.
getting caught during the night automatically? They must, or
So how it works? It's all like you said, exactly like Apple Sleep or Apple Health, whatever
just
thing
wrapped.
you already have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now there's just all meta systems, which this is very akin to a lot of mobile games, since they have a very simple or already done core gameplay, but they wrap it around a different theme or IP or meta systems to change it.
Yeah.
But yes, you
Very
sleep. Go ahead.
Tamagotchi-esque, or
Yes, that's perfect. So you get a bunch of other Pokemon as you sleep, and yes, of course, the main thing is to sleep well so that you can collect Pokemon. That is the absolute biggest driver.
okay.
Now each of your Pokemon, as you collect more, there'll be like, let's say three. They are appointment mechanics. You log in like 3 times a day, you touch them, and they drop food to feed your Snorlax to
Huh.
give you more points.
Okay.
And lastly, I thought this was pretty interesting. I haven't done a deep dive yet, but each week it resets, no matter what. Like you move to a new island, you get a new Snorlax, and you start picking up more Pokemon. So like it's kind of like I would kind of like a roguelike or an idle game with a prestige in that sense. It's like you're always starting over and you're always leveling up the Snorlax.
Hmm. Okay.
Uh, so that feels good, especially when there's a new week. It's like, hey, my Snorlax is leveling. Whereas if it didn't reset you every week, you'd be like, oh man, I have a level 9,000 Snorlax. I need to wait like 20 days before I can level it up. So that's kind of the most basic explanation of the game.
Okay. Talk to me about social features.
Oh yeah.
So how are they looking to integrate this with other players, or is there any of that, or is it very single player in that aspect?
No, that is correct. It's like productivity apps where
Yeah.
you like you're encouraged to friend people and then you can have some pressure to keep going with it. So that is something that I don't know if other sleep apps do. I don't know if people are too scared to
I mean,
give
not
it up.
normally. Yeah, it's like a kind of a
Yeah.
weird thing to be sharing your
Yeah.
fucking
Oh yeah.
sleep cycle with your
Oh.
friends. Like, I don't
Well,
understand how that works. Like,
let's have a sleep tournament.
we
Yeah, it's
could.
definitely pretty weird. But in a game like Pokemon, I'm not sure what you share because I haven't done it yet. But in theory, you can share your collection and give gifts and stuff like Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
Oh, it does synergize with Pokemon Go
I
in
was gonna
some way.
ask, yeah, how are they building that crossover? Because I don't
Yeah,
see how people would be social individually on a health app without Pokemon Go's like push, but also they tend to think of things as an ecosystem. It's all brought into
yeah,
one. So
that's right. Um, okay, I am sorry. It simply uses the Pokemon Go Plus device to help track sleep. So no synergy that I know of.
okay.
But I mean, it's not you're correct. They'll likely do something like that in the future.
Well, it's the thing is with with the Pokemon Company, right? Is that what it's called? The Pokemon Company?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they just want to make any sort of experience just so that they can stay relevant and also just like test the waters. If something like
Yes.
goes big and then blows up, then they're like, "Oh, sick, awesome." Like I guess let's invest more in that direction. Um,
Absolutely.
I need to know though, IAPs, what's going
Oh
on? What's going on? There's got to be
man,
something to pay for.
I should have come more prepared for this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
absolutely.
you wanted to just start and just go straight in.
I,
I'm ready, dude. I'm ready to
I,
look at it.
I was just getting the data, but man, you're right. I wasn't ready to grind this game, so I didn't really look at the IAPs. But it definitely has it somewhere. Let's see if I can quickly find it.
My name on
Uh,
every single mobile game that I play is called monetization. Every single time I start a new account on a mobile game, it's
oh, I definitely
monetization.
don't want. I definitely don't want to go PvP against somebody named that. I looked at it earlier. Let's see. I think it's just with leveling. I think it helps you level up your characters faster.
Just like
Good friendship.
XP boosts and stuff. Do you not have
Yeah.
the app open there? Is there just like a page?
I couldn't find it really quickly because
Okay.
it is Pokemon. I think they tend to hide their IAPs a little bit more.
Yeah.
Could
You
be wrong.
mean
I could be wrong.
each your
Oh,
own.
Sleep Pass. Oh, Sleep Pass.
There you go.
So this is
There it
Battle
is.
Pass.
There we go. That it is.
That's funny. Yeah, it's a Battle Pass that. Oh, this is interesting. So apparently, you cannot view all your sleep data records by default. You must have the Battle Pass. So that's one thing.
Wow.
Yeah, but otherwise, you get a bunch of goodies for leveling up, and lastly, you unlock a diary where you can write notes on your sleep, which you can't do in the default game. So
Huh.
there's actually some functionality locks, which is usually a little bit rare.
That seems all right. How much? $7.99 a
Oh,
month. $7.99 a month.
oh my god, it's Pokemon. It's gonna be
$7.99.
okay. 1 month plan is $10, but they have a 6 month plan for $50.
Wait. Do the math, Calvin, really quickly. What does the $60 come down to? You said $50 for how many months?
$50 for 6 months. So isn't that like 12.5 maybe? Wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
No, it would have to be less. What does
Yeah,
it come
what-
down to?
I guess
Do the math.
8.66 is what I'm gonna say.
I don't know. Oh my god. Please. So,
50 divided by 6. 8.33. Damn it.
damn, I was really close to him, but at least I was there. $7.99, 8.66. I'll take it. They're greedy as fuck. I was close on that price point. That's where my anchor would be. Interesting. I don't know. You know what I mean? So here's the thing that gets me, right? It's cool to have things gamified. I don't know how you think about things gamified. I've seen the gamified fucking toothbrush and for kids, and I thought that was like a magical thing as well too.
Isn't there Pokemon teeth or something?
There's
Pokemon brush?
yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no
okay,
idea.
There's Pokemon Smile. That's a gamified toothbrush.
I can't
Yeah.
yeah,
for Pokemon.
so this feels like it's like right in the same vein.
It
So
is.
this is a lifestyle companion app, right? That so what's curious is that some of these things are very like mobile gaming focus. Ask, come back, retention mechanic, tap on this thing 3 times a day, it'll be in that reset queue. we always want our retention curve to be about 3 to 5 times a day. But we don't need you to be that way if you're only using this at night and in a specific thing. So it's weird that they're obviously just trying to like keep you looking at it, or like keep you
Yeah.
thinking about it, to build that engagement, so that at the end of the night you haven't gone like a full 24 hours without, by just forgetting it. It's so funny to like put the notes thing the
Yeah, the pass.
into the past. You know what I mean? It's just like, why wouldn't you just have like a notes app or something like that? But I guess if it's all there and it's integrated, and people really like Pokemon, then cool. Like maybe that'll work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're just building on a budget and trying to say, what are we gonna fucking spend on? Like, what are we gonna be able to make really, really fast that also keeps everybody in the ecosystem? I get it. That's kind of cool. I mean, I think it's nice you can see where the thing can grow into, but do you? I mean, I don't know. Like, seems. What would you say to a company that goes and says, like, let's make a bunch of these? Like, they have a shit ton of money, right? So they have infinite amounts of money, so it doesn't matter in the end of the day. But let's just say you're still siphoning resources to go and do these, like, micro games that don't really, you know what I mean, what? Like, they fizzle, right? Like, as soon as you release them, they're dead. You're probably never going to update them. You're never really going to UA against it. It's just going to hit the market and just go. So, like, what is that
Yeah.
really doing for your company profile, instead of using those resources to spend directly just into your main products? Like, a team that made this sleep app, now, depending on if they were just all contractors or not, who knows, right? But, like, if they were internal, could have been all on Pokemon Go and made new, added a new feature to the roadmap, or added something social, or, you know, built a better app that also uses the profile system or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I only bring this up because Riot has done the same thing in the past as well too.
Yeah.
And is it in the curiosity of, again, market positioning, market vision, so that people see you basically making them as advert games, so that you're penetrating everybody's point of life, right? So, hey, Pokemon now has a lifestyle app. Well, it's not a game, so I'm not playing Pokemon Go, but I like Pokemon and I'm curious about this thing, so let's go look at it, and then that gets exposure to the Pokemon. How does that work? But Riot, the first one that I remember was League of Poro or something like that. It was like the Poro. Basically, you were the dude with the grabby hand. Oh my god, it's been so long since I played this. Blitzcrank, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so Blitzcrank Poro Rush or something like that. So you were like Blitzcrank. It was an infinite runner, 2D,
Wow.
2D, and you had to grab Poros and like save them and get to the end without dying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Instantly released, instantly went to nothing. But I chalk that down as like a foray of Riot kind of like testing the waters in mobile. Like,
Yeah.
can we make a mobile app? Can we learn something from this? What does a launch cycle look like? And we know that this is going to be a failure, but it gets us to a brand new market on mobile that we've never been to before. And now maybe that's helped them long term to penetrate, to make League of Legends for mobile.
Yeah.
What are
Also
your thoughts?
Yeah, and also to test the waters with the studio that they contracted out to see if they want to, develop a relationship.
Yeah.
But that's a really good thing to bring up, because there's multiple angles. I think so. One thing that you might want to do with expanding out your IP is to bring in new players to your main game. And I think something that did that was Arcane, the League of Legends show on Netflix, which was
Yeah, definitely.
amazing.
Absolutely.
That was a really good show. And that brought me interested. I think I might have fired up the game like once or twice after that. And that's one way to funnel it. But I don't think like Pokemon Sleep or Pokemon Smile is necessarily that. Just like you said, it seems like their play there is simply to be this franchise that you see everywhere. To
Hello Kitty.
always, yeah, exactly. And as long as it's a touch point, it becomes just like an advertising for them. It seems like that's my current thoughts on it.
Cyberpunk did, sold bonkers once the movie came out, or the TV show came out as well too.
Yeah.
In the same vein. Is traditional advertising just dead in these cycles?
Mm,
Or is it
damn.
really just that we need to be making alternate media to be able to push better product and
I
build a bigger world around our IPs?
it's 100% that. Like, just advertising is so different nowadays that I can't think of a better way to coin this. I just call this like contagion advertising. It's like
Sure.
it's like a it's all underneath the surface rather than being blatant, because people have, not only do they have ad block and ways around it, or they just put down their phone and don't look at the ad, but yeah, it's people are just kind of more immune to ads in general now,
I
is
mean,
my
ads have to adapt, right?
yeah.
Because we are sick of the fucking front roll
Yeah.
zero, one of two advertisements, Hulu on YouTube or any
Yeah.
of these other things, right?
I turn on Twitch, I go get a drink because I know it's gonna, fire some ads at me. So.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I'm not looking at Twitch ever, but I feel you absolutely. I don't even know what the fuck they're advertising over there. That platform's a
Yeah.
fucking shit show, for the most part. But
Yep.
the the side of this thing is very interesting because you can get a lot done. I feel like I want to believe you can get a decent amount done, like a web comic or like an animated short, in some kinds for like 50K, maybe, and that's a lot of money still. But like, let's
Yeah.
just say you're an indie developer with a little bit of a publisher backing, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to spend your UA budget or something like that, right? Um, it kind of pops into the poppy stuff as well too. Like, I don't know if you looked at the history of that, because we were laughing to ourselves. We were like, "Oh, this is made by like one person or two people or something like that," and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
oh, it's like partly a development team. But like the
Yeah.
history of the thing is really interesting. The
Oh,
channel
I don't know it actually.
started as a YouTube channel. Was like an old, two related people, one younger, one older. That was the younger one was making started getting into animation at a really young age. And I think we're talking like maybe like really young, like 10 or something like that. And then started putting out animated shorts on YouTube that started to kind of like blow up and do decent numbers. We're talking like
Were they
100.
also horror
No,
or
not
something?
not
Oh,
all horror, not all horror. They were just like some of them were like random snippets of like dancing things, but they always had the same theme of like square Minecraft style characters.
ah,
Um, but they were well animated. They were decent enough. So that grew into a big, a decent subscriber base. Then it starts transitioning into short videos, and the short videos then start building into licensing deals with other companies. Like, so if you can go over there and take a look at it, there's a bunch of myriad of different characters from like Minecraft, blah blah blah. And I don't think that they necessarily obviously started as licensing deals. They probably started as like fanfics, but they used the IP and just like expanded upon it within the world. And then they made stories off of those, so they would just make like one-off episodes, but then the one-off episodes would do well. They'd be like, "How do I spin this? How do I spin this? How do I spin this?" Um, that ends up growing then into a franchise where they're like, "Hey, these characters are engaging, and we have our own characters now that are built into our own world, our own IP. Let's go and build a game off of that." And that's where then Chapter One comes in. Um, I still think, it's a lot. Like, it's pretty short, but it's very crispy. Like, really, I'd love you to get through it.
sure.
Um, but I'm just curious because it is a curious way of alternate media starting a game franchise rather than a game franchise coming from nothing and then peeling off into something else. And
Yeah.
like we do see this all over the place, right? Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is coming out, like the movie, right? Full reboot, everything else on the in between. So expect a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game to come out now again as well too. Barbie is, I went and saw it, right? But Barbie is an old legacy brand that needed to rebrand, and then went to alternate media to be able to push new product to a greater, wider audience and say, "Hey, do you remember us? This is what we're about now." And they push their brand ideals through those things. Fucking Trolls. Did you see Trolls has a movie,
I
dude?
have.
What
Yeah,
the
yeah, I did.
fuck?
I saw the first one.
It's
Yeah.
the same shit, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean? It's just like if Little Big Planet was Trolls and it came out after the movie, how does that work with the IP and the profile, or do they all kind of like which is one becomes the strongest in the end? Like is the thing that I would say, or is it all become this
Oh,
conglomerate ecosystem? Is this something that like
yeah.
indie developers can actually try to utilize? You know, work with like a I mean, it'd be cool to work with like a college student in 3D modeling and animation, pay them $200 an episode, and just make something kind of cheap and engaging off of your IP, right? Like Giant Fox has Swing Striker, right? Well, let's put out like, 3-minute videos that just like detail a match or just like have like some sort of like cool bit that's like integrated from the game or something around the world or just like lets you know about the characters more and use that as launch material to gain your base audience before you launch the Swing Strikers game.
Yeah.
You might have already had the game beforehand. You know what I mean? But is that possible? Is that a thing that could possibly be a path
Right.
to success there?
And even Undertale, Toby Fox had experience doing Homestuck beforehand, so he was able to do that. But actually, the thing you're talking about, this is one of the things I had in my predictions for 2023. I don't know if it'll come true, but I love and I believe that people need the concept of an instant franchise, kind of like
Hmm.
instant noodles, just add water. But it's like, how do you spring a franchise out of nothing? At this point, you need those multiple touch points and people to believe that, oh, okay, this is a real franchise that I need to invest in because it already has like this little webcomic and this
Yeah.
game as well. I am totally with you. I believe it is going to be needed given how competitive everything is, and
I mean,
I hope somebody figures it out.
could you just spin up a production company tomorrow and say, if you could grab a bunch of,
Yeah,
cheap video content creators, like not content creators, but like cheap video editors and creatives and have,
yeah,
and just have a indie company kind of pay you a short amount of money to a standardized maybe amount of money to make like a 3-minute video so that you could keep doing that as like a web comic.
totally. Yeah,
Could
I,
that be a
I
thing?
I think with enough cleverness, it is absolutely possible. If you want to go super cheap and you have the effort, you could just like have some AI webcomic, and if you play with it enough, you could probably do something like that for much cheaper.
Yeah, sure, but like you have to use their images, their branding, their style guidelines, and they probably don't have a lot of that set up. But if you have somebody who's smart or
Yeah,
smarter of those things at the top, you can
yeah,
use that standardization to like, okay, we're going to infer, and then we're going to go and like just grab your stuff and like build it, right?
yeah,
So it's like there's like maybe another upfront cost in just that before you can even get to the episode, obviously, but it's like how quickly can you get to make it go live?
right.
And definitely, I mean, I don't know. There's there's side points here too, right? Which is how do these things hurt your brand in the same way too?
Yeah,
Dilution can be a problem. Can
yeah,
absolutely be a problem. And how you represent your brand and your story and your characters and how quickly you go about some of these things. Um, yes, they might get views, but we have a lot of bait and switch advertisements right now. And I'd say a little bit of Cyberpunk, the anime, a little bit bait and switchy compared to the game itself.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like it's
Atmosphere is different, or
like so I think I mean they didn't have they released a new update with the TV show so that the game had some of the abilities
ah,
that the characters had in the thing,
that's cool.
but they definitely made the characters like seem a lot cooler. I don't know, what I mean? I don't know, like maybe
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
like the San Vestins are still in both, so catch 22, who knows, I guess, but I don't know if you play the game first and then you go to the anime, or you like, that wasn't really
yeah,
that
yeah,
wasn't fully my experience, but I get it. It's a character in a world.
yeah.
So how do you
I,
do
I
that?
I have an example, a really relevant example that just came up. So Street Fighter 6, Street Fighter is not known to have guest characters. They have their own world, and if they do pull from guest characters, they pull from their previous games. There's like, here's Mega Man in Street Fighter, which they literally had before.
Oh.
Yeah, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Tekken just recently said we're not going to do guest characters in Tekken 8. Previously, they had Negan. They had Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. So they were all on the guest character train, and they made a lot of money that way. Here's the kicker, though. Mortal Kombat announced their first DLC pack, 5 characters. One of them is...
Thought one of them was Negan as well, too, wasn't it?
Oh, no. Not from Mortal Kombat.
No?
Omni-Man from Invincible, and then Peacekeeper, who's played by John Cena. So John Cena is literally completely modeled for Mortal Kombat.
That's
hilarious.
hilarious.
And then lastly, at the very end of the trailer, a guy flies down and it's Homelander from The Boys. And like, these are all relevant IPs to what people are watching right now, because The Boys is like a lot of people I know watch it. So
yeah, it wasn't my superhero stuff in general is not my shtick, so I've stayed far away from that. But I get it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So it was a good question of like, is this going to dilute it? Yeah, it's going to dilute it, but it does make Mortal Kombat a lot of money, and they're going to blow the other games out of the water they usually do in terms of sales.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because it's like, in that case, you're going outside of your realm, world, and universe, like to like bring in characters. Mortal Kombat kind of has that semblance of like, if you're a big bad within, and they used to have, you know, the movie was in the real world, I guess, as well too. So they've semi like got a crossover. It's like, yeah, well, if you're a big bad, come on in. Like, why not? You can be part of the new generation of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So I get it. You know what I mean? But it makes the game feel a little bit more cartoonish.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Angry Birds, like, way back in the day, did, like, a advert licensing deal with Cheerios. With so they had the Honey Nut Cheerio, like, bee.
A bee?
Like, in the game, and you were, like, shooting your Angry Bird and, like, collecting cereal, and the cereal then, like got the bee out, and the bee helped you, like, complete the level. Like, this was like a long time ago, you know what I mean? But it was there. I played it and I saw it, you know, and I am curious. I was like, did that sell more fucking cereal? Like, or does that just make your game like seem a little, you know?
Dude, it really does seem like at this point, especially the newer generations, I don't think people care, and I think people want multiverses. They want like their fanfic. They want to see Goku versus Superman, like in Fortnite.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it hurts the franchise.
Yeah, what's that fighting game that's on Twitch that's all like bots and stuff, but you just can make your own character or whatever the hell it wants?
Yeah, Salty Bets.
Salty Bets. Yeah. So good. I'll watch that for forever. Yeah, and it's all of a sudden you're just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
A Toyota Prius versus a versus like a little girl. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like, it's like this, like, and then all of a sudden it's an epic anime fight. You're like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't think it is necessarily worthwhile to hold on to your franchise nowadays. I don't think diluting is a problem. Is
that, you know, do you still do that along with the traditional marketing? Like, or I don't know, you have to do the traditional marketing, I guess, too. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like this could possibly be, if you can do it economically, a good pathway for smaller developers to be able to build a franchise around their game, build a world around their game fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And that's probably why. Wait, actually, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Is that why fucking Vampire Survivors is getting their own TV show?
It would be a reason. I don't know if that's the reason they had in the first place, but yeah, I mean, you gotta do that stuff nowadays to get bigger impact.
I mean, it's that, it's FNAF, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's getting like a movie and stuff. Like, I guess that those are coming in after the fact. You know, once that the IP has been built big enough.
Yeah.
But if you had the movie before you had the games, would you think that the game would have as much impact as it did just kind of dropping the way it did? And, you know, I guess that, if I think if we looked at the origin story of them, they had comic books and a whole world lore, like a web comic, like all made and ready to go beforehand.
Wow, that's a really interesting question because we all know that games that are based off of movies, to my knowledge, I don't
Kind of
think any
suck.
of them. Yeah, just about all of them are suck. Although, by the way, there's a new Starship Troopers game
I
that came
saw
out.
that.
Yeah, that game is fun. It actually recreates like the feeling pretty well. So thumbs up to them. Of course, it took 20 years after the original Starship Troopers to come out before they could properly make it. But that's a good game that's based off a movie. But yeah, I I can't think of many examples that mirror what you said about like if Vampire Survivors came out after a movie, like how well could it done? When I play it out in my head, it's just gonna be like a shitty platformer or something. So
Hmm.
don't often have novel games come out of movies is the issue.
I'm just
Um
reading the Five Nights at Freddy.
oh like the when the movie's coming out?
No, just the origin story of it, just like really quick, because I was just
Yeah.
no. So okay, this I guess this has some interesting crossover right into kind of what we're talking about, because I guess maybe it doesn't. It doesn't. I guess, but so Five Nights at Freddy starts this this person Scott Crawlton uh develops the game Chipper and Sons Lumber Co. Right, uh, and people called the game, or at least the main character, a scary animatronic animal, but I don't think the game was supposed to be scary. So they made it like
Really?
unintentionally terrifying.
Wow.
They then from there then basically took that ideal, remodeled the game, and remodeled the idea. Five Nights at Freddy was released August 8th, 2014. Um, it was crowdsourced, it was greenlit, and then the game was was released on Steam. YouTubers then pick it up because it's during the time of like horror hype gameplay is usually like a great one if you're trying to gain views and stuff like that. If you're like a nobody and you want to go and try and get a name, play some horror games because on Twitch because people love your scary reaction, especially if you're gonna like cut it down and like do some other stuff. People love the screams. So from there, that spins off into 9 games, and yeah, 9 games, plushy lines, everything else, like all of these things under the sun. And I'm just curious because it's just like I guess I could say that Five Nights at Freddy characters felt very iconic. Like you could have just released plushies or standalone like dolls or something like that of those characters on their own, and they would have hit. I feel like they would have hit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's wrong, maybe that's right, but like there's obviously something to be said for what your use case is, but just try to think of again, keep on that same ideals of like, is that something that somebody could do? If you were able to just get in with some college students looking for a project and pay them, a slight amount per, a set amount per video, and just like let them kind of go to town, build out your world, or do something like that. Is that
Yeah.
I'd like to see that as a use case. I'm curious to see
Totally.
how well that would work.
I want to see the first person that really tries that with a super low budget, like you said. Of course, once you make a lot, you can.
Well, like what did Red versus Blue do for Halo?
Oh, yeah, I want to see numbers on it. I don't know the numbers, but oh boy,
Right?
have I seen people cite it a lot.
Yeah. So like somebody uses your games, make those. We haven't had machinima, for a very long time in the same way, right?
Yeah,
Like that's a word I think that's lost to the internet in a lot of ways.
yeah,
You know what I
it
mean?
is.
Machinima, the YouTube channel, used to be like the biggest thing in the fucking world, right? Like one of the highest thing. We used to constantly be watching people use the game engines to make videos in, and now I don't know, like what happened there? Do we still do that, or did
Yeah,
we just go
and that
deeper
was
into the personalities of people rather than into the characters?
right, and that was before YouTube, right? Like I'm pretty sure YouTube wasn't really around back then.
No, like it all started on kind of like Newgrounds
Yeah,
and
right.
but it definitely grew. I feel like into definitely grew into the YouTube sphere 07, you know, like they're thereabouts, you know, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, here's an idea for the listeners out there. If you want to mix the beauty of
No, it's
machinima.
my fucking idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I'll tell you what it is. There's also VTubers now, so you make a game,
Yeah.
and then you make the skin of the character, and then you do a VTube session where you role play as that character. So that'll be a little bit like Red vs Blue, mixed with the streaming of VTubers. I haven't seen anybody do that yet.
You could do an interesting like reality TV show probably pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably pretty quick because you could do all the cutaways and side bits as like the VTuber like talking straight to the camera. You know what I mean?
Office.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
You know, I don't know what the rest of it would look like, but
That's right, game devs. Get your improv chops up. Go read some improv books. You gotta do a lot of singing and dancing nowadays to be a good game dev.
A little, honestly, it's like 50% of it sometimes.
Yeah.
It feels like at least. I don't know, but all right. Well, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. I never know perfectly, but it's definitely an interesting thing to say, like, how do you start building that world around your game? We constantly talk about building your community up from the moment that you've started to conceptualize and say that I'm going to build this game to release. You're building a lot of assets, you're throwing a lot of stuff away, but like, how do you best kind of utilize your time there? And I think it's a curious thought experiment to say, is it better to start fragmenting your IP as soon as possible so that you can get out pieces of it into the public sphere and into the public eye? It doesn't matter if it does anything or hits or whatever, but something before that game lands. Or do you have the game land and then start building the franchise kind of around it after that, so you get a slower burn in? I don't know.
You know, that's a really good point. For example, Overwatch 2, they advertised the whole PvE mode and then they canned it. You know, one thing I was wondering was like, could you have done that piecemeal more? Like, did you have to go all in? But yeah,
Calvin, you're asking questions that like fucking Satan himself isn't willing to answer, because like there's some fucking dumb, crazy decisions that was made on all of that whole thing. How to kill
a lot of management now.
to kill your IP in 3 easy moves.
Oh man, and kill might not be hyperbole at this point.
No.
It's really
Say that you're going to release an Overwatch 2 3 years before you ever even complete it. Release the game buggy and in a worse state with less features than the original game. It's also pretty much the exact same as the original game. 3, don't solve the problems that you said you set out to do to make the new game. And then what do you do there? That's my 3-step process for how to fucking murder everything that you've ever done. Burn $1 billion.
The reason I bring this up now, because you know this is more older news. There's a mobile game that just came out called a gacha game called Snowbreak, and it is a really high quality looking game. It's like up there with Genshin.
Okay.
It's a shooter. And they're releasing it kind of piecemeal. Like their story mode, you get a few chapters now, and in a few months they're going to release more. So I guess if I had to say an overall takeaway, I know we're talking about multimedia stuff, which is maybe outside most people's vision. But just think about it. Like, think about, hey, maybe you can't get your game out. You want to put some more time into it. Is there anything you can do in the meantime? Not just blogs, like maybe... Because the only people, frankly...
The only people who are watching blogs are us, and we're not even looking at blogs. Because I don't want to read your dev blog. I will read, like, a little bit. Like, I'll read, like, some technique or something when I need it. But, like, I don't... Sorry, I don't know. I'm bad, though. I'm different.
For Screenshot Saturday, instead of just putting up a GIF, can you just put up maybe a story? Can you maybe link them? Like, just think outside the box to get people interested in different touch points. That's
yeah. Yeah, maybe see if one thing attaches people more than the other, and then maybe that's where you double down into your story or something like that.
Right.
I think you're trying to make like animatic characters, right? Or I don't think that's really a word, but you're trying to make characters that people attach to, that they can humanize with or sympathize with in some regards, any regards. and giving more tidbits of the world through story, I think is definitely a huge thing. I think we will. It's curious to think that maybe actually prioritizing that is really important,
Yeah.
and doing something along those lines, pre-launch,
Absolutely.
would really help.
Think about the new mediums that people are using. I'll give another great tidbit for people. So, Sean, have you seen the NPC streams on TikTok? I'm not gonna go over them. If you don't know what that means, go Google it yourself. But hey, why don't you just be a character in your game and then do an NPC stream, an actual NPC stream?
I
Alright,
want to.
that's the last.
I want
That's the
to
last I'll
die.
talk. That's the last I'll talk about that.
Yeah, at some point we'll get into. What I do want to do is play the Skyrim mod that integrates AI into all of the characters, so that it opens up the world of Skyrim to you know, like literally you can type or talk directly to your characters and your companions, and they will have a full-blown ChatGPT conversation with you, based off of like who they are within that game. So I am curious to do that. When I was at GDC, I did see a couple of game pitches that were looking for funding that were specifically built around this, and built around worlds that were defined like this. So think World of Warcraft, but every single day all of the NPCs learn more about the stories of the guilds and the characters that are interacting in that world. So that you can have full-blown conversations with them and say, did you hear the news about how such and such guild got world first? How amazing is that, right? Like, and blah blah blah, and you can kind of go down these pathways. I want to play that. I'm curious to see just what the delay is right now. I hear is really high, but we'll, you know, I think it all builds into this crazy side of like how we can build out games a little bit quicker and get more out of our content life cycle as well too.
That's right.
All right, Duder.
Yeah,
Thanks for chatting with me.
Yeah, my final words. Hey, don't forget to brush your teeth with Pokemon Smile, and then go to sleep with Pokemon Sleep next to you.
Absolutely. And if you like this video, like and subscribe. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. If you feel like it. I don't really care. Fuck them. Fuck all of you. Alright, 3, 2, 1.